So what will school look like in the fall? We have just gotten the plans for Waterbury schools to reopen, and I'm joined now by Waterbury Superintendent Verna Ruffin. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here with you.
So you talk about three options, the all go back, a hybrid model, and distance learning. As parents read this, how will you choose which one will it be, or might it just be a combination?
Well, we're going to consistently follow the guidelines provided by the Commissioner of Education as well as the Governor, which is a first plan to fully return in school. With that fully return in school option, we also have, so what happens if someone can't fully return in person, then we have a virtual setting that's aligned with Plan 1.
You know, let's start with class sizes. If you do go back, how many kids are we talking about, and how will you incorporate the social distancing?
We're going to follow the guidelines that we have to create a social distance within each classroom. We're following anywhere from 6 feet to sometimes we hear it might be 3 feet. We're certainly looking to utilize all of our space to allow for ample room for social distancing throughout our campuses, as well as considering how groups of students will be moving together from one class to the other.
It's safe to say the class sizes will have to be smaller.
I think it's very safe to say that the spaces for each individual classroom, the traditional 25 to 30 class per classroom, will certainly have to be revisited and reconfigured to best allow for that learning, based upon how many students return.
Right. And about the buses, it says that they'll actually run close to capacity. I know a lot of people were worried that what if you can only put 10 kids on the bus? What are you finding about how you can run buses at almost capacity?
Well, we know that the 10 students per bus is no longer in effect, and we're looking at, again, following the guidelines that the buses can be full. What we are examining is to make certain that full does not mean that we have 3 students to the bus. That is not going to happen for us. We're going to consistently monitor the ridership, and we're going to make some adjustments, whether that's additional bus routes, or we can examine if there are parents that perhaps will opt to drive their children to and from school.
You also did a survey with parents, and the report found that 55% say they would choose distance learning. Only 24% of parents said in-person learning. That seemed a little surprising to me. Was it to you?
Not so much surprising based on conversations I've had with parents and surveys that we've done in the past. Not so much surprising, but to actually see those numbers and the number of people that actually participated in the survey, I think it makes a statement for us as we have further conversations about the reopening of school. Yeah, that's quite a large number.
It's a large number. And let's talk about distance learning. One thing the report says is that it'll be a lot better for all those homeschooling parents who were stressed out thinking they had to be the teacher. Your plan says that won't be the case come fall.
We found that as we were all thrown into this virtual world, of course, we struggled. We knew we were not prepared for a one-to-one. We weren't prepared in terms of everyone having the technology, the computers, and we knew we were not accustomed to teaching in a virtual environment. So it's a learning experience. We have gotten better. We know for a fact that when the teacher and the students interacted in real time virtually, that was the best mode of operation, and we're utilizing this summer to actually learn best practices and to refine our virtual learning platform so that it will become better over time.
And when you talk about synchronistic learning, if you do decide to keep your kids home, you might be basically taking class the same as the in-student classes. It'll be going on kind of at the same time, I guess.
I think that what we want to make certain is that we have a schedule. And it's not 8 hours a day sitting in front of a computer listening to someone. It's a schedule so that you can modify your learning day, because you can spend time with independent learning based on assignments that might be posted, time to complete that assignment, ways to submit it to your teachers, timelines for your teachers to receive the feedback and give feedback to you, and in-person time where the teacher can help you if you're confused or if you need additional clarification on a subject or skill. I think those have to be included in our teaching and learning plan so that students can feel that they're supported in their learning. Parents can feel and know that they're not expected to know every single thing about all subjects to teach it to their children. And at the same time, so the children don't stress out thinking that I have to sit in front of this computer and that's the only way I'm going to learn, because that's really not what a real, true virtual learning environment looks like.
Let's talk about masks. They're going to be required, but a lot of kids are worried about wearing them all day. Will there be mask breaks, or how will you enforce it?
Well, I'm not certain that we can have mask breaks if we're social distancing within a school. But I do believe there are going to be opportunities, obviously, when the students are eating or they're drinking but with some additional social distancing that we're going to have to be really cognizant of. I also believe that the way our plans are implemented, if someone has an existing condition that makes it improbable to wear a mask all day, we may be looking at shields. But the protection that has to occur for both the student and for the staff member, we have to have some kind of protective face gear.
What are you hearing from your teachers? Are they okay about coming back?
They're scared. They have concerns, just like our parents are. Some of our teachers are parents as well. Some of our teachers may have children that attend our school system or another school system. So there's some concern there. There's the concern about what happens if one of my students or I get ill. What happens if we transmit it to our families at home? So I'm hearing some of the same concerns that our parents have voiced from some of our teachers and staff as well.
And lastly, about outdoors. Right now, it's warm, but we do have nice weather in Connecticut, at least in the beginning. We've seen a lot of European schools move outdoors, even hold classes in fields and soccer stadiums. Do you foresee using the great outdoors a lot more?
I think that all of these different ways of being able to conduct classes are certainly optional. I think one of the reasons why we selected the partial day in school is because we recognize that we have several buildings that do not have air conditioning. So the partial day in school allows for the cooler part of the day where you can receive instruction in person, and then you can go home and then in the comfort of your home be able to engage in virtual setting. I definitely think spacing out in larger areas of the school, like cafeterias or gymnasiums or auditoriums, is a viable option that we'll have to consider. Certainly, in a beautiful day like it is today, outdoors is something that I would hope that we did even before COVID-19. But again, keeping students in such a way that which students are with you all day, and then and how students are being socially distanced, as well as how much interaction they may not be able to have with other students in other classes. That's critically important for us.
You're one of the first districts to put out the specifics of your plan, but again, you say it could change depending on many things. When will parents get an idea of what school is really going to look like, and when do they have to let you know if they're going to send their children?
From what we're hearing with our State Department is that we're going to have some consistent assessments of the COVID-19 and its trends and the impact on entire Connecticut, as well as we receive data for Waterbury specifically. We're going to use that to help us to determine what some of those next steps could be. I believe we're going to get another update from the State Department and from the governor in August that may help us to get closer to which plan are we going to implement. And then we believe that as we get closer to the end of August, because Waterbury is contemplating changing the start of our school year until after Labor Day, that if that is the case, then what we believe is we're probably going to receive another update in mid to late August that will help us really be clear on how we're actually going to open schools in September.
Okay, but that's some new information. You may not go back until after Labor Day, which would be late for the public schools here in Connecticut.
Yes, it would be. And we are considering that, especially, State Department just waived the required 180-day school attendance. We know we're going to have some intensive training for how to return, how to safely return, and protocols, and to teach it to our staff and our students as well. And we also believe that, that additional time, because we may no longer have inclement weather days, we could capture that very easily within the school day, because now we have virtual and we're going to get better at it, right?
Maybe no more snow days.
Committed to that. That's right. No more snow days.
The kids are really going to hate the pandemic now. Okay.
Oh, probably so. It's changed our world.
Well, thank you for sharing. I know there's so much in that plan, and parents should really go through it. It's detailed and see the different scenarios, but thank you for breaking it down a little bit for us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting with you.